Hi, welcome back. My name's Liv. If you're new here, hi. I haven't posted in a while, but I'm really excited to start a new video today. We are going to be testing out the new Natasha Denona Yucca palette. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been super interested in a lot of the releases the past few months. I haven't posted in a few months actually, and the moment I saw this palette, I was like, yes, absolutely, that's the one. That's the one that's going to get me back filming. This is what we're going to play with today. As you can tell, I've already done the base of my makeup, so I will have everything that I used for this part of it in the description below. And we are just going to play with the eyes today. Before we get started, I would love if you would hit that subscribe button. It means so much to me, and we'll get going. So obviously this palette is in the green tone family. This is one of the midi size palettes, so it's not a mini and it's not like one of the giant ones. So it looks like there are 4 like more glittery shimmer shades, and then there's one like metallic shade that's not really got any glitter particles to it, but it is metallic. There are 2 cream to powder formulas, and then there are 8 matte formulas, which is roughly like a typical combination for the Natasha Denona midi palettes. I'm really excited to try these colors. But first I wanted to do some swatches. But this is the first shade. This is called Plantasia. That is beautiful, that's for sure. So I'm going along the top row first. This next one is called Calathea. This is one of the cream to powder formulas. This is like a dark forest green. That's pretty. This is another glittery metallic shade. Komorebi. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing these right. Another matte shade. Acacia, maybe that's how you say that. This is like the bright neon one. This is called Camu Camu. This next shade is called Tipu, another matte shade. Here is another shimmery, glittery one. That's really pretty. I want to say Elijah, but I don't think that's quite right. Elysian. This shade is Valley, another matte shade. This is Citrine. This is the metallic shade Ray. It's not technically a glitter, and it doesn't have any of like the glitter flakes that like these 2 shades do. This is Flax. This is Fushi. Maquia is the last like glitter metallic. That's pretty. This is Ixia, I think. Another matte. And last but not least is Willow, which is like a bright bluey teal color. So these are all the swatches. I know that's not my best swatch job. Remind me to wash these off on the back of my arm, because otherwise I'll forget about them and then I'll go about my day and then I'll have eyeshadow all over everything. So what I think I want to do actually, so we can use most of these shades in one look, is just do 2 different color stories on each eye. I'm not gonna lie, I have seen a couple of reviews on this already, so I am aware that the glittery shades, aside from this one, the Elysian one, are very, very similar. So when they're actually like they look different in the swatches, but once they're placed on the eye, I've seen reviews where they're not actually all that different. So I do want to try a few, but I definitely want to see if we can try a lot of shades. So I'm going to start with this shade. It's called Valley. Natasha Denona is definitely one of my favorite eyeshadow formulas. So I'm going to start by putting this in my crease. Now I have hooded eyes, so when I say crease, it's actually above my real crease. I like create a fake one, so you can actually see the color. That's actually like a really good neutral brown if you're needing one, and this is the only palette you brought. There is a good neutral brown in it. And actually I'm just gonna flip over my flat brush and we're gonna go into Tipu, is this more green color, and I'm gonna place it above that brown color as sort of the transition. I think that's pretty. They blend, it's the Natasha Denona formula is so great for blending. So even if you pack quite a bit of the pigment on, you can always blend it, and there's like a 90% chance if you packed on too much, you'll be able to blend it away. I do want to deepen up my crease a little bit, so I'm going to go into this shade, which is called Flax. Try to really pack it into my crease area to give a little more depth, kind of the outer corner. This is going to be the deepening shade. If you want a smoky green look, this is going to be the smoke. It takes like no time to blend these shades. It's wonderful. I'm going to use Citrine next, and I'm taking it on a flat brush, and I actually just want to pack it on to the rest of the lid space, because 9 times out of 10 when I do my eye makeup, I pick one color and I pack it on my lid, and then I pick a shimmer shade and put it on top and call it good. So I want to do a little bit of my normal, but with like the smoke added. Then I go back into my blending brush and just blend this inner portion here a little bit. Like, that's a pretty color. And if you were doing an all matte look, you could honestly add a little bit more Tipu here on the inner portion. Add a little more Valley, which is that first transitional brown shade we used. And you could have like a nice matte smoky green look. But I happen to be a big fan of shimmers and glitters, so I do want to go into Macchia. I think it's how you say it. Honestly, I probably butchered every single shade name. Ooh, that's pretty. Oh, that is so pretty. So what I've noticed with the Natasha Denona formulas is that shimmer shades typically have a good chunk of fallout if you use a brush. So I like to apply them with my finger, and there's a whole lot less fallout going on. I really hope it's picking up on camera just how beautiful that color is. Like, that's green. That's how I would do a green smoky look. So Plantasia is this glittery shade, and in the pan it looks a lot more gold and reflective. So it's this one. So I want to see if I can place that like right in the center and bring out a little more gold. I don't think it brought out a whole lot of it, but it definitely made the center pop a little bit more. So I'm just gonna dip back into our dark brown again and just blend this a little bit more. And then I want to take Valley, the first brown again, and place that on the lower lash line. Just take the smallest amount of Flax and connect it to the lower lash line. And then I want to use Citrine again, which is that color I used all over the lid, and pop that on the lash line, the lower lash line as well. And then we're going to go into Camo Camo, which is the bright neon green, and I'm going to use this in the simplest way and pop it into the inner corner. So we have a bright green inner corner. This is where I would take Plantasia, that more gold shade. I tried to make the center pop a little bit more, and also place that in the inner corner on top of Camo Camo and just bring a little bit more gold into the inner corner. So again, I used a brush to apply the shimmer that time, so there is a bit more fallout. The good news is it does sweep away pretty easily. But that is how I would do the first eye. I think that's a pretty good representation of the greens in this palette. So this look, I'm going to start with this one, which is Ixia, I think. These names, they're going to get me. And I'm going to start this one in the crease as well. It's a really pretty orange shade. And I'm going to bring it all the way to the inner portion of the eye in the crease area still. These colors just are so chef's kiss. They just blend so great. Now I know the Natasha Denona palettes are pretty penny. They've got a pretty good price tag to them. But when your shadows blend out in 0.0 seconds, you know why they're so expensive. Because they're made very, very well. I'm now going to go into this shade, which is called Fuchsia. So Fuchsia is the cream to powder formula, so it is a little bit harder to pick up. But it's just a really pretty light orange. I'm going to deepen up Ixia a little bit more. Now we're going to do something wild, so stick with me. I'm actually going to use this Elysian shade, which is very glittery, and pack it on the lid. Because it's kind of like the one shade that sticks out. Like, it's very neutral greens, and then you've got a cool tone gray silver. And I mean, it's a beautiful color, but it's a little weird in this particular palette, right? So I'm just going to blend a little bit with more of Ixia. Honestly, I think that's really pretty. And the way that the gray mixed with the more orangey tones, it kind of mimics the darker brown shades. So maybe that's why it was included, is that the way it mixes, it creates some of the other shades. Don't worry though, I did not forget the blues. I want to go into this shade, which is called Calathea, maybe. This is one of the cream to powder shades as well. And I just want to see how it does on the lower lash line. And I also want to try out Willow, which is the teal, and put that on the inner portion of the lower lash line. So honestly, mixing them on the lower lash line, they look like they're the same color. There might be like a slight more blue tint on the inner corner. And then I'm picking up a little bit more of Ixia, which is the orange, and placing that right under to try to tie it all back together. This eye is wild. None of the colors really go together, but I wanted to try to use more shades. And then for the inner corner, I'm going to use this shade here, which is Comarebia, something like that. And again, since it's on the flat shader brush, it's gonna have a little bit of fallout, but that's okay. That's a pretty color on its own. Like if you just needed a hint of green just all over the lid, I would use that color. Okay, the eyes are a little wild, I know, but we did get to try a good chunk of the shades. I think I only missed out on 2 shades. I didn't get to this one, Acacia, and I didn't get to Ray, which is the metallic shade with no glitter in it. But I think I got all the other ones. I mean, not super intensely, like I didn't get to use the blues intensely, but this is a fun palette. It's crazy what you can combine to get looks. So I'm going to put some mascara on because no eye look is complete without the mascara, because that just like brings the picture together. So hold on. Okay, so here is with mascara, and I got a lip on, and honestly, this side is growing on me. When I tell you you have to trust the process until you get your mascara on, I mean it, because I feel like this eye is so creative. It's so outside of my comfort zone, that's for sure, but I really like it. Honestly, I think it looked really good with like a nude eyeliner too. And then, yeah, this eye is definitely like your green smoky eye. I think it's really pretty. You'll have to let me know which eye you like better and what colors are you more excited to use. Like, obviously it's a green palette, but there's some other shades aside from green. I know I've already told you, but Natasha Denona has one of the best eyeshadow formulas. They blend out phenomenally. They last a really good time, so if you do blend them out, the pigment's still going to be there 8 hours later. So even if you don't like pack on the color, you're still going to have what you put on. Like, it doesn't just like fade away throughout the day. Some of her shimmer formulas are my all-time favorites. I have other palettes from her, and her shimmer formula is what I wore on my wedding day, and I don't regret it whatsoever because it wore so beautifully. I'm really excited to have this palette in my collection. I know I haven't posted in quite a while. It's probably been about 3 months, and for this to be the product to be like, Liv, get filming again, you need to share your thoughts about this palette. Shocked but not shocked that it's a Natasha Denona palette. This one's really pretty, and honestly, I wasn't keeping up with a lot of the releases, and all of a sudden this one came out, and it's like, if you're really into greens, if you're really into like a more moodier type of style, kind of grungier-ish even, this is going to be the palette for you. It's a great formula, it's a great brand, great shades. Anyways, that's all I have for you today. I'm going to try to start regularly posting again. I'm hoping to do 1 video a week because 2 videos a week just got to be a little bit too much for me. So my goal is to just do 1 video a week. And I am starting to get a little bit more active on my Instagram and TikTok. So if you haven't seen me on those platforms, I will put my links in the description below for you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please let me know. Give it a thumbs up. It helps me out so very much. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.